This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.
Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and we are excited to have you spend a little bit of time with us. This is time that you are investing into yourself, and that investment into yourself is not going to have any void returns, because folks, we are empowered individuals, and when we as empowered individuals realize it, and when we are armed with the tools in our toolbox to take action, we can do some amazing things, because our body was designed in a way that it's continually creating cells. So what goes in and what's around us determines if those cells are going to be thriving or just barely surviving. Now, this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor is it meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. But folks, like I said, when you give the body what it needs, the body itself can do some amazing things. Well, today it's going to be a little bit different, as we are going to be looking at EMF. So the title of today's show is Wired and Worried? Is EMF making you sick? And to help us expose a little bit, or actually shed some light on what EMF is and how it may be affecting our body, we have with us Dr. Taylor Mitchell, naturopath out of Colorado. And she's not just a naturopath first generation, she is following in the footsteps of some pretty incredible naturopaths, and having one of those naturopaths as a mentor, and also joining us on today's show as a guest. So welcome, Doc. If I can let's get Taylor on the screen with us. Hello, Dr. Taylor Mitchell. Dr. Taylor, I know that you have a passion for helping people learn what it takes in order to allow their bodies to do what their bodies were designed to do. Now, you're young. What got you into wanting to help people? I think that's absolutely fantastic that we have, because we've got Doc's generation, and then there's my generation, and then your generation, as I'm old enough to be your mother, which I think is really cool. So what got you into wanting to help people and become a naturopath?
That's a great question. So when I was very young, I went to this church, and I went into the back room, and people can pray over you and prophesy over you. And when I was, I think 6 or 7 years old, they told me that I'm going to make a huge impact on the world. And I've always been so curious as to what that is. I'm like, how am I going to help people? My parents, when I was younger, would always tell me that I was going to cure cancer one day. And then when I was 13 years old, I moved closer to my grandparents, who were naturopaths. And, they had such an impact on me. And they told me so many incredible things that really resonated with me at a very young age. And so I've always been interested in learning about health. And I remember my grandfather would be talking on the phone with patients when I was really young, still a really early teenager. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. I would just follow him around and ask him all kinds of questions. And it really interested me at a young age. I remember being 13 or 14 years old in my mom's shower, looking at body wash and being like, oh my gosh, this is so toxic. And so I had that awareness at a young age. And so I've always been like, how am I going to help people? And then I was working at this job. This one, it really exacerbated. I was a lead generator for my father's company selling whole home water filtration systems. And I looked around me at Home Depot in Oklahoma, and I noticed how sick everybody there was. And people were in wheelchairs. They could barely walk. they were always talking about their doctor and their medications all the time. And my doctor says this, I got to lower my cholesterol and I can have Cheetos because they're low in cholesterol. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I started telling people and educating people, and people wouldn't listen to me because I was young and I had no credentials. Like, who are you? And actually, what really inspired me is Dr. Peter Glidden, Ben Fuchs, and Dr. Wallach. I was like, you know what? I'm going to become a naturopath and I'm going to get those credentials. So not everybody's going to listen to me, but people will listen to me. So that's really what did it, because I want to help a lot of people. In order to do that, you kind of have to have, some experience, and people need a lot of people want to know that they can trust you and that your knowledge is credible and you can actually help people because you're trained in that. So that's why I wanted to do that. I wanted to become a naturopath because I wanted to help people. I knew that, this is my path. It chose me. And so if I want to do that, if I want to help a lot of people, I have to do this. And I'm going to be learning this stuff anyway. I might as well go to school. So that's really how that all happened.
All right, so the first lesson, folks, today, if you have children or grandchildren, make sure that you're speaking positivity and greatness into their lives.
Yeah.
Because that is something that was done for you. My parents did it for me. And I mean, you're much greater than I am, but I am so thankful that I had that positive encouragement that I could do great things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today's topic, and I know in our discussion, you've talked a little bit about it, just between you and I, and we're talking about EMF. What exactly, before you get into that, folks, thank you so much for joining us. If somebody recommended you to watch this show, make sure that you get back with them, as they took the time and cared enough about you to share this program with you. Second importance is, as you're listening and you hear something that triggers somebody else's name to come to your mind, make sure that you share this program with them. So first, like us, make sure you subscribe to our channels, no matter where you're at. We are live here, Zoom, yes, at dailywithDocZoom.com, but we are also being broadcasted by our executive distribution manager, on many different platforms. So we want to know what platform you're watching us on or listening to us on. So if there's a way for you to send us some likes, some love, some thumbs ups, and a comment, let us know that you are there. Now, Dr. Taylor, EMF, what is it?
Oh, yeah, great question. EMF is electromagnetic frequency. And I just want to say right off the bat, this statistic is going to alarm a lot of people. But within the past 20 years, EMF radiation exposure has gone up 10 million times. That's what these doctors told. I'm not, and what I'm saying right here, I'm not 100% sure that's true. I was listening to this PowerPoint by these two doctors from California, and they told us that is the number. How alarming. If that is true, that is extremely alarming, right?
That's like more than 300 times, 400 times, 500 times.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I know. And go ahead.
Is it affecting us?
Absolutely. So many ways. And so when I have patients come to me and they've got neck pain, back pain, any type of pain in their body, I always ask, is your phone charging close to you? People are like, yeah, it's charging right behind me. Okay, well, get your phone at least 6 feet away from you, because, turn your Wi-Fi router off at night. There's so many things that we need to do, like precautions that we need to take. It's affecting us in so many different ways. And long-term effects can be like cancer, but acute health effects can be skin burns, nausea, vomiting, hair loss. And long-term effects can be like cancer and cardiovascular disease, organ failure and death, unfortunately. And they can include diarrhea, fatigue, hair loss, nausea, vomiting, skin changes, and urinary and bladder problems, dry mouth. So many, the list goes on and on and on about things that it can affect. And really what's going on is it's affecting the cells and the tissues at the cellular level. It's radiating, dehydrating the cell, so the cell can't get its work done efficiently. And unfortunately, when people notice symptoms, what do? They go get a CT scan, which is extreme and massive amounts of radiation. And if they have any type of cancer, what's the treatment? Radiation, more radiation, radiate. So we're being radiated. It's like people are calling this a microwave society. And, I think I got cut off last time when AJ was asking about Teslas and the electric cars. Those absolutely affect us. My boyfriend has a Prius, and whenever I drive it, I can feel the radiation. I can absolutely feel it. It's a lot. And yeah.
Okay, so just now you mentioned cell phones.
Yeah.
You mentioned cars. I mean, those are two totally separate things that we use in everyday life in some cases. What other things can emit this EMF, this frequency, this electromagnetic frequency that can affect our cells?
Satellites are a huge one. And radiation, and then there's smart meters and there's cell phone towers. I had a client in California, and I worked with this woman for like a few months, and she still hadn't really noticed a lot of difference. Her and her daughter were both really sick. I said, okay, FaceTime me. Let's go outside and take a look outside of your door and like do a whole, turn around and see what's going on. And she was right underneath where all the telephone wires intersected. It was all right above her house. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was 100% why you're in so much pain. And like, you got to get a lot of protection or you got to move, but you have to do one of those two. Otherwise you're gonna still be in pain, unfortunately.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I was living in Arizona, they were just putting in the smart meters, and we had Wi-Fi in the house, and I had the ringing, and everything that I had done was, it was making it better, but it was still there. And then we moved to an old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere and no smart meters, and it went away.
There you go.
Until they decided we needed to have smart meters too, so they could read the meter without getting out of their truck, because we had dogs.
Yep.
And now the ringing is back. So yep. what we've got the smart meters, we got phones, we've got cars, we've got the Wi-Fi, anything else that you can think of, that Bluetooth. I stopped wearing.
Oh my gosh, those AirPods. People have to stop wearing AirPods right now. If you're wearing wireless headphones, that is literally microwaving your brain. I'm saying that with caution, but that's literally what's happening. I can send you, if anybody wants evidence, I can send you evidence. Just do a YouTube search or a Google search. And they're trying to say, oh, it's not harmful. We don't know if there's anything going on. There absolutely is. So get wired headphones if you can. Laptops definitely have radiation. TVs have radiation. There's a there's a lot.
Anne has a really good question, and I'm busted. Do fitness trackers?
Oh yeah. So
radiation?
I muscle test people when I see them in person that have those Apple Watches, and they always go weak. So unfortunately, yes, those Apple Watches are emitting radiation. Sorry. You can get a
Samsung
device. You can get like a protection device sticker on there or something if you want it.
Absolutely. And Longevity has some EMR patches that are designed for the phone. They've got bigger ones, which I have a big one on my phone here, and I've shown it before, but we'll go ahead and show it again, because it sticks on the back maybe of your phone. And then exactly how does this work? Do you know?
What do you mean?
The EMR patch that you can on your phone.
So, that's a question for Fred, but there are devices out there. There's like Organite, and there's like Moonstone and things like that can protect people from radiation. There you go, the smart patches. You have to ask Fred about his specifically work, because he has a technology. Because his are amazing. His actually tests better than the one I had. I had this guy who made them locally here in Boulder, and they tested good, but his tested better. So he has great technology.
That's fantastic. And what they're called EMR Smart. I shared this video with you and say, hey, can I get some more information about the EMR Smart Patch? And you'll see they're not small. I mean, this is like the biggest phone and I have multiple phones and I move it around, so it's not attached. But I'm told that that does not make a difference as long as it is in the back of my phone. It is deflecting some of that radiation that's coming in at me.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely have to get somebody to come on and share some more information about that. Now, when we're talking about EMFs, you mentioned that they affect the cells.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that they can affect the cells?
So, you know what's interesting is when everybody buys a smartphone, did you know that it says this phone should not be within an inch of your body to protect you because it can damage, your body? Do you know it says that?
I did not know that it says that. That means I can't even touch this, or it's just it's gonna cause damage.
Yeah, so actually enough radiation can actually kill cells. It can damage them and it can actually kill cells. So, I mean, EMFs are harmful. I mean, it's damaging us at the cellular level, and that's what radiation can do. That's all really medical doctors know how to do is to either radiate, extract, or poison cells. Unfortunately, and if you guys haven't listened, there's an interview with Tucker Carlson and these two medical doctors, Dr. Kaylee and Casey Means. They were the top of their field medical doctors, and they both like withdrew and are now speaking out about the harmful, system that we're currently facing right now, the medical system. I recommend everybody watch that. But that's what's happening. It's dehydrating and it's radiating and it's killing cells. So
advancement to make life easier is not necessarily the best thing for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm thankful that there are some things that we can do to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So you had mentioned making sure that we're not charging our phone next to our head.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other recommendations that you have to help us, be empowered to do things, even little things, to help protect ourselves from the EMR or EMF?
So there's supplements like essential fatty acids and iodine, actually. So if you were to get like what is it called? An X-ray, you should take some iodine and some EMFs because that'll help protect your cells and also help the body kind of let go of some of the damage that's already been done. So there's, take supplements, that helps. Get in an infrared sauna and sweat out, but really what we need to do is protect ourselves from exposure, because when the damage is done, it's a lot harder to reverse the damage than it is to prevent the damage.
So protection,
Mm-hmm.
just like being proactive,
Yep.
is a lot better than being reactive.
Yep.
And then you had mentioned iodine, mm-hmm. which Youngevity is a company that we have found that the solutions that Youngevity offers actually do deliver solutions, which is why we promote the Youngevity products here on Daily with Doc. And not to mention that the original doc that started Daily with Doc is Dr. Joel Wallach, who is the founder of Youngevity before Youngevity was even Youngevity. And since then, he has turned it over to his son and daughter-in-law so that he can freely share about the importance of nutrition. And of course, he's sharing the Youngevity products that he was instrumental in formulating, not just throwing this, and this together, but with 3 postdoctorates in pathology and seeing what's missing and what disease is present on over 452 different species, almost 30,000 autopsies. He's been able to connect the dots with over 600 different poor health conditions linked to nutritional deficiencies. Now, as you just heard Dr. Taylor mention, that there are things that we can do nutritionally to help counteract the effects of EMF. Mm-hmm. And that is with iodine, which Youngevity has a couple different products that are great with iodine. There's an ultimate iodine, which is a spray you just put under your tongue, which I absolutely love because it's easy. You can put it by the side of your bed, just do 5 squirts when you get up. depending on your weight, do 5 squirts when you go to bed. And you're getting iodine.
Yeah.
There's also the Ocean's Gold,
Yeah.
which is another product that's good, that a good source of iodine. And we have another iodine product as well. And it's slipping my mind. I'm human. Yay.
Is it Z Radical?
Z Radical. So Z Radical has some iodine in it, but there's one more. There's one more that I'm trying to remember.
Maybe one
And
of us.
my co-hosts might be putting it into the chat for me, and I'm just a little behind on catching up with that. So as we're talking about more things to help protect ourselves, what can we do? And if we are experiencing some effects of the EMF, how do we support the body as a whole so that as we're regenerating cells, those cells are healthier?
Great question. So, whenever we experience symptoms, it's never just one thing. It's always a combination of things. So there's stress, there's toxicity, there's malnutrition, there's dehydration, and then there's radiation, right? So like all that stuff combined is what causes symptoms. So if we're doing a lot of things right, like we're eating organic foods, we're cooking at home, we are drinking high quality water, structured water, hydrogen water, something like that. We're taking nutrition. We're deep breathing. You can lose 3 pounds of toxins a week from doing 5 minutes of deep breathing exercises daily. We're getting in an infrared sauna. I have an infrared sauna right here. And that is a way to help cleanse and nourish and heal the cells. That is something great. Intermittent fasting is incredible for the system. I know a lot of doctors are saying that you shouldn't fast, but that's how you activate autophagy, which is cell regeneration. Absolutely essential for us to fast. Jesus fasted for a long time, and people have been fasting for thousands and thousands of years. And so I highly recommend people still do that. And, but good quality water. So we want to make sure that we're hydrating ourselves. And a lot of people drink water that's unfortunately dehydrating. Reverse osmosis, unfortunately, can be dehydrating. So we got to make sure that we are drinking hydrating water. I'm very, very blessed to live in Colorado. I'm like 15 minutes away from El Dorado Springs, which is a natural spring. And so I go and I get that water, and it's extremely hydrating. Or there's Ward, that's like 30 minutes west of here. That water is extremely hydrating. But you don't want to get like, there's the spring water, can't remember the name, but it's bottled. You got to be careful of plastics as well, like microplastics are an actual thing. So we want to make sure we're avoiding that. So I take my 5-gallon jugs and I go fill it up, just to avoid plastics as much as possible, because that's another thing that affects our cells. So anyway, a combination of so many things is what causes symptoms. So if we're hydrating ourselves, we're deep breathing, we're exercising. Exercise is extremely important. I think that exercise isn't talked about enough, but we have to become more resilient and strong in our bodies. And that's how we live longer. That's how we fight